Hello students, welcome back. This is class 7 science, chapter number 14, electric current and its effects. Students, it is lecture number 11. In this video lecture, we will be covering the remaining topics of the summary. Hence, it is summary part 2. Moving on to the next topic, magnetic effect of electric current. Magnetic effect of electric current. Students, it may sound astonishing to begin with, but it is true that electric current has a magnetic effect too. The combined effect of electricity and magnetism is called electromagnetism. You can check here carefully. Electromagnetism has both the words electro taken from electricity and magnetism from the word magnetism. Hence, wherever we learn or discuss about electromagnetism, it already includes both the effects, the electrical as well as magnetic. Let us now discuss few important terms which are related to the magnetic effect. The first term is magnetic field. It is the area around a temporary or permanent magnet where magnetic force is effective. The area around a magnet where we can feel its attraction or repulsion is known as the magnetic field. You can check here in the diagram. The second important term is solenoid. Solenoid is a cylindrical coil of wire acting as a magnet when carrying electric current. You can check here that it is a coil of a wire. It will act as a magnet when electric current will pass through it. In this topic, let's discuss some of the applications of electromagnetism in electromagnet. An electromagnet is a solenoid with a soft iron core. The arrangement behaves as a magnet when an electric current is passed through it. You can now relate what is a solenoid? Yes, it is a coil of wire, and inside that cylindrical coil, a soft iron rod is passed. So, this arrangement will behave as a magnet when current will pass through it. An electromagnet consists of an insulated copper wire coiled around a soft iron bar. When current is passed through the coil, the whole system behaves like a magnet. Its magnetism disappears as soon as the current through the coil is switched off. Therefore, an electromagnet is a temporary magnet. Students, pay attention to this. An electromagnet is a temporary magnet when we have formed a solenoid with the help of insulated copper wire coiled around a soft iron bar. Along with the current, the magnetism can also be switched off or on depending upon the shape of iron core. An electromagnet can be either a bar magnet or a U-shaped electromagnet. Factors on which strength of an electromagnet depends. Students, the strength of an electromagnet can be increased or decreased by increasing or decreasing. Pay heed to all the points. Number 1, the amount of current flowing through the coil. Number 2, the amount of turns of copper wire in the coil. These two factors play important role in determining the strength of an electromagnet, be it the current or the number of turns of the wire. Both these factors can increase or decrease the power of the electromagnet. The strength of electromagnet depends inversely upon its length, which means smaller the length of electromagnet, more will be its strength. Once again, smaller the length of an electromagnet, more will be its strength. Now let's discuss some uses of electromagnet in our day-to-day life. Uses of electromagnet. Due to its temporary magnetic behavior, an electromagnet finds extensively used in various industries and scientific devices such as number 1, to separate iron scrap from the junk in industries. You can check here that with the help of a crane, an electromagnet is used to separate junk. Here, the structure of this electromagnet is shown where this front metallic part is acting as the core and inside it there is the coil which acts as the electromagnet. One important thing to note here is that the electromagnet in this case is temporary in nature. Number 2, doctors use very small but strong electromagnet to remove iron dust from a patient's eye. Number 3, they are a compulsory part of picture tubes of television and computer screens. They help in the formation of image on the screen. A number of electromagnets are used in a car which help in moving of different parts and generate electricity as well. The next use, they are used in relay switches. Students, relay switches allow a small current to switch a large current on and off. Relay switches basically act as the connectors. Number 6. Electromagnets are used in the receivers of telephones and electric motors. One more very important use. Very strong electromagnets are used to carry the fast moving maglev trains. Here, the term maglev is derived from magnetic levitation trains. You will be amazed to know that these trains run at a speed of more than 400 kilometers per hour. Here, a maglev train is shown to you. Let's read out the information given here. If you look properly, this is the magnet on the rail pull on magnets on the train. These magnets attached to the train run below the rail. One important thing to note here is that maglevs are lifted into the air by magnetic forces. There are powerful magnets on both the train and on the rails. Because of this gap which is created when the train get lifted by the magnetic force, there are very less frictional forces that act, and because of this these trains can run at a speed of more than 400 kilometers per hour. The next topic is electric bell. We all have electric bells at home and we also use them when we visit someone's home. It is a simple and common application of electromagnet. An electric bell is made up of the following components. Number 1, an electromagnet. There is a U-shaped electromagnet in which one end of copper wire is connected to the terminal T1 and other end is connected to the brass stud. It is magnetized when the push button of the bell is pressed. So, we must keep in mind that the electromagnet present inside the bell is U-shaped. The second component is armature. It is a soft iron strip which is attracted by the electromagnet when it is magnetized. Hammer is the third component. It is a small metallic sphere which is made up of steel. It is attached to the armature at its one end with the help of a soft, springy, thin piece of metal. The hammer strikes with the gong to produce sound. Now let's discuss about the fourth component, gong. It is a big metallic hemisphere to which the hammer strikes to produce sound. Contact screw. It is also known as a make and break screw, which is adjustable. The tip of the screw is made up of silver cadmium alloy to prevent its oxidation due to sparking. It connected to the terminal T2 by copper wire. It is used to adjust the contact between the armature and the push button of the bell to produce best sound. Also, it can change the frequency of the ringing bell. Let's have a look at all the components we just discussed diagrammatically. If you look carefully, here is a battery. Along with it, we have a switch. This switch is basically the push button. Moving on, we have terminal 1 and terminal 2. If you see, terminal 1 is connected to a U-shaped electromagnet. Students, remember that this is a temporary magnet. Moving on, we can see a big hemisphere, metallic hemisphere. This is the gong. Near to it, there is hammer. The hammer is attached to the soft iron strip or the armature. And one important component is the contact screw. We just looked at the basic but important components of an electric bell. Let us now come and check the working of an electric bell. Number 1. The terminals T1 and T2 are connected to a battery or energy source through a push button or switch. When the switch is pushed on, the current flows through the electromagnet and contact screw. As a result, the electromagnet is magnetized and attracts the armature. The hammer connected at the end of armature moves to hit the gong and produce a sound. This time, the contact between the contact spring and contact screw breaks. As the circuit breaks, the electromagnet gets demagnetized. The coil is no longer a magnet. The armature moves back. The circuit is made again, and as a result, the above steps are repeated. The bell goes on ringing until the push button is released. Once again, let us quickly reiterate how an electric bell works. When the switch is pressed, the circuit is complete and a current flows through the electromagnet. Students, keep on looking at the components of this electric bell as shown here. After that, the soft iron armature is attracted towards the electromagnet and the hammer hits the gong. Moving on, this movement breaks the circuit at point X so that the current stops flowing and switches off the electromagnet. The springy metal strip pulls the bar back so that contact is made again at X and circuit is again complete. This keeps repeating and hammer strikes the gong, producing a ringing sound as long as the switch is pressed. That's all for this video lecture. Thank you.